Welcome back to Modern Mindfulness, the series, how to use the body-mind connection to amplify you and feel more balanced, connected, and free. I'm your host, Rebekah Mars, and today we have Maxine Garcia of Buddhiboxes. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. How are you today?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. So I've been sharing where everybody is. Maxine's out in sunny San Diego, and I'm here in actually sunny Sarasota. The sun just came out amidst all of the Hurricane Matthew stuff, so I think that's a good sign. And I'm going to share a little bit about you, Maxine, and then I'll have you share anything else, probably a little bit about your background. So Maxine is a yoga addict, a yoga teacher, dog rescuing, wine drinking, San Diego native, passionate about making yoga living accessible to everyone. A first-generation American, she comes from a family of hardworking Mexican-American small business owners. She's the founder and CEO of Buddhibox. Welcome, Maxine. I'd love to hear even more about, how your creation of Buddhibox came about, and also just you, like the background of you and what brought you to this moment.
Yeah, so I think in the simplest way to put it, the way Buddhibox was formed came from my experience with e-commerce and supply chain. It's my background professionally, and I blended it with my passion for yoga and yoga living. So healthy living, mind, body, and soul, with what I knew very, very well. So it was a natural kind of culmination of my talents and my interests that led me to create Buddhibox. And it really was spurred driving home from a hot yoga session I had just taught. The idea just came to me while I was at a stoplight. And I just ran home. I started doing some research on subscription boxes and what was out there at that time. And I just kind of went full force and didn't look back. So it really was just this, it happened very quickly. A lot of, when I talk to other entrepreneurs and they kind of hear the story, they're actually kind of amazed how quickly I ramped up with it, because sometimes people second guess themselves or question themselves, or it takes a while for them to kind of put everything together. But for me, it was just very natural, very fast. And once I came up with the concept, I just ran with it.
So cool. So for our audience who may not know what we're even talking about, what is Buddhibox?
So Buddhibox is a lifestyle brand and company. Right now focused on the subscription box aspect of the company. So every month that you subscribe to one of our 3 different subscription box services, you get a box full of goodies that kind of enhance and give you accessibility to products that fall under the umbrella of yoga living. So one of the misconceptions, or one of the questions I get asked, is there enough product out there, yoga type product, to put in boxes every month to add variety? And what I tell people is like, absolutely, because we're not just focused on mats and straps and headbands, but what I think a lot of people don't understand about yoga living is it's not just what is known as the postures or the asanas in yoga. It's not the actual physical activity of yoga, but it's actually the lifestyle and the philosophy of yoga. So the easiest way to put it is it's just living as purely as possible. So eco-friendly, non-cruelty cosmetics, healthy food, and ways to energize your body. Made in the USA, supporting other local vendors and their passions. So that's really the idea of yoga philosophy, is to take less and be more mindful about the products that you use on a day-to-day basis, not just because it may be good for the environment, but it may be good for you. So a big thing for me when I started doing yoga, this is one specific example, was I started thinking about the shampoo I was using, the lotion I was using, the makeup I was using, and reading the ingredients and realizing that I can't even pronounce these things, let alone I don't even know what they are and why are they necessary. So really making that transition to being more mindful about the products I was purchasing to put on my body. And the same way with what I was eating, transitioning from really craving certain things all the time to being more mindful and healthy about the choices that I was making. Not so much because I wanted to necessarily lose weight or look a certain way, but more because I realized that as, this being, what kind of nourishment did I want to give it? What kind of energy did I want to put into it? So that's yoga living. It's not just getting on your mat and down dog and moving through the motions. It's actually every single day that you wake up being mindful about the decisions you make.
Yes. I love all of that. And that's such a cool piece of, including you in this series, because that's really what I live for, is like spreading the message of living the yoga. And and people ask a lot, well, if I get into yoga, will I lose weight, or will I do this, or will I do that? And it's like, there are a lot of ripple effects, and I love how you just shared, it just made you think about your shampoo, like something as simple as that people may never even think about, or they just get it from their stylist and they never look at the ingredients. But yeah, I think yoga starts to bring that awareness to just your body and your mind, and your piece by piece, and just kind of like the idea, stuff will just sort of hit you. I feel like once you're a little more in tune of you, and then you'll have these daily little moments of like, I wonder about this, or I wonder how I can, add more earthy elements to my living and have less of an impact, negative impact.
Earthy and not have to use patchouli.
Totally. Yes. I know.
I think a lot of people
go over
earthy patchouli.
Right.
Which is good stuff, but for those that are just kind of dipping their toe into, healthy granola living, it's a new version of granola living. It's not just patchouli.
Yes.
And
yes.
Incense is fabulous.
Yeah, not to knock patchouli by any means. I think now we see that with all the essential oils, and it's really fascinating to see like all these people where, like, not to be judgmental, but it's people that have never done anything like yoga or anything mindful, whatever you want to call it. And all of a sudden they're like toting these oils and talking about how it's helped their child's asthma or this and that. And it's just really cool to see like this new wave of what used to just be patchouli. And now we see all these oils and things just at TJ Maxx, the other day. It's like they're everywhere.
Yeah.
So are your products, I noticed you also have a jewelry, right? Do you also create
we have
two different?
Three styles of subscription boxes. The monthly ones are the yoga box. So that is where you get the variety of, every month you get food, yoga accessories, beauty products, jewelry, a variety of products, usually about 5 to 7 items in every box. And that's a monthly box. And then just launched BBEO, which is it's kind of a mini version of the box. It's less expensive. So for $14.95, including shipping, you get a full size essential oil roll-on, a couple deluxe samples of beauty or oil, and like maybe a crystal, and then a meditation. So it's more for that, mind spirit connection versus holistic, goodies. And it's just kind of a little mini gift you can give yourself every month. And it comes with a meditation and essential oil every month. That's standard. And then we have the quarterly jewelry box. And so I'll work with a variety of artisan vendors. Most of the stuff is handmade. So, last month we did Hot Chakras Yoga, who's in the Bay Area. And so she creates malas, and she also has a clothing line. So she created 2 bracelets, a nice tassel necklace, and a butterfly scarf. And usually most of the boxes are themed. So that was themed around transformation because of the butterflies. And it just had really beautiful glass bead jewelry, an Om symbol, charm. So we try to switch it up every month. Sometimes we'll throw in there, like a little perfume oil or a candle in addition, just so that, you're getting a little gift for yourself every quarter. And that one's every quarter. So it's every 3 months. And so, those are the 3 boxes. And then we have the store. So if you like something, you can come back and purchase it at the store.
Oh, awesome. I didn't know you had a store. So
yeah. And as a subscriber, you get a discount to the store.
So cool. Oh, awesome. And I think that is, usually I save this for later, but that is your gift to our audience, right? A discount on. Awesome. Cool. We'll talk. we'll share that at the end just to remind people to get their discount. But so if you're thinking, ooh, this sounds so nice, know that is part of the opportunity today. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about just your journey, like being an entrepreneur. Did you always want to be an entrepreneur?
No, I didn't. It was something that came on later in life, much later. I did come from a line of small business owners. My parents immigrated here with my 3 brothers and my sister before I was even born to the U.S. And my dad owned his own auto repair shop. My mom started her own paralegal and immigration services. My when my brother was old enough, he started his own car and van rental business here in San Diego that he's been running for the last 16 years. And then in Mexico, my aunt has a construction company. My cousin has a catering and events company. So it's something that I guess has always been in us, kind of in our family, that drive to kind of create something. But I didn't necessarily envision myself. I was very much go to college, climb the corporate ladder, that type of thing, get a good job, 401k, all that stuff. Not very high risk. But my father always, through my 20s was always saying, why don't you learn your mom's business? Why don't you start your own business? Encouraging me. And I just thought, what would I do if I did? I couldn't even think of what I would do. And this was before I was, yoga was a lifestyle for me where I was practicing every day. And so when he passed, I think it was 5 years ago, I kind of went through this shift, and that's when I started doing yoga every day. And after doing yoga every day and then becoming a teacher, it kind of was this natural progression of really, I guess, kind of soul searching, kind of, as I got older, thinking about being more aware of what I wanted for myself. And so when this idea hit, that's why I ran with it so quickly, is because it was just an opportunity for me to kind of, learn what it was like to run your own business and how to start something. And so it kind of, I feel like it was always something that was available to me. I just didn't realize it until, my life went through a little bit of a transition, and I came into it, it came to me.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like practicing yoga daily and having yoga as a lifestyle kind of helped bring that more to the surface?
Absolutely. Because, I feel I have always kind of lived a yoga lifestyle. I've always gravitated more towards healthiness in some aspect, not only with, products and food and exercise, but since I was a little girl, my mom and my parents always instilled the giving aspect, the giving back. So when we were little, my mom would have me round up my toys and my clothes after I was, grew out of them. And she'd be like, all right, choose what we're going to send to Mexico this every 6 months, because she came from a place of not having a lot. And so for her, it was important now that she, progressed and got to a point in her life where she could give back. It was really important. So that giving back aspect was always part of our lives. And then as I went to school, the schools that I was involved in, we'd always go wrap gifts for kids, for toys, for tots. It was an aspect of like the curriculum was to give back. So it was always something, that I was doing. And I just didn't realize it until I started practicing every day. And what I realized was like, it's not yoga is, a lot of, and then also when I became a teacher, I should say, I got a lot of questions such as, will I lose weight doing yoga? I can't even touch my toes. People will laugh at me. I don't even know where do you get this hand sanitizer that doesn't have, toxins in it? People didn't know. And for me, it was like, just open your eyes and, it's really accessible. It's not that hard. You're not going to have to pay $10 more. It's becoming, you just need to know where to access it. And, it kind of started on your mat. As soon as you land on there and just try, it'll become this evolution where it kind of opens up your eyes and your mind to different things that you maybe weren't aware of before. So that's kind of where the passion came from too, is wanting to help people and understand, like, yes, you can be healthy, you can access all these things. It really is a life changer. And everybody I know that has started yoga within 3 months is like, whoa, my life has completely changed. The way I view things, the way I approach things. Unfortunately, I see a lot of times coming into yoga is a factor of coming from a painful situation, whether it be emotionally or physically. They actually physically hurt themselves so that yoga is a therapy. So I'd like to see more people just move into it because it's good for them rather than it's, it's something that had to happen because they're emotionally or physically in pain.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And I hear it too. I think it's so normal for teachers. And I kind of have, you reminded me of a few weeks ago, I made this video because I was literally at the grocery store and I hear the checker doing that exact whole thing of telling this girl that's coming through the line, you know, she's a yoga teacher, and he's saying, oh, I only go to yoga when I'm hurt. And I like, it took everything I had to not go and give my 2 cents. But the girl was like, she was a yoga instructor as well. So hopefully she gave him some good feedback, but it was like, buddy, that's not what it's all about, you know? But it is funny, not funny, but it is interesting to see how that is the normal for a lot of people. Is like, well, I do yoga when I can't do my other stuff. And it's like, try it when it's not the backup plan, you know? But you mentioned a lot the whole yoga lifestyle, and I'm curious, and I'm sure that if I asked everybody in this series, you know, their definition would be a little different, but if you had to define a yoga lifestyle, what would that be?
Good question. I would just say living your most honest and best self, whatever that means for you. You know, I mean, that's the great thing about yoga. It's not one size fits all. It really is accommodating to your lifestyle. You know, for me, for example, people think, oh, all yogis are all vegetarians and don't drink and, you know, don't, you know, do this or that. And it's like, no, I eat fish and I drink coffee and I love wine. And I eat dessert, you know, and I do. And it's just, what yoga is balance. It's just finding that balance. You can be all things. You don't have to be, you know, living in a hippie commune in a tent, in a yurt, you know, and drinking matcha tea every morning. It's just not like that. Yogis come in all shapes and sizes, nationalities. You don't have to be pigeonholed into one thing. That's yoga lifestyle. It's just living your best and truthful self. And as long as you're doing that, you're fine.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I know that I've read within your business, within Buddhiboxes, you also use this whole yoga as a philosophy for business too. Could you explain some of the components of how you use yoga as kind of the business model?
Yeah, you know, I think at the core, it's the products, not giving people things that are try my best to educate myself to make sure that the products I'm putting in there are as pure as possible. Simple ingredients that I see where they're being made. I do import a few things, and so I do my best to try to talk to the vendors in India, because there's some really cool stuff out there.
Yeah.
And, you know, talk to them and understand, you know, how things are made and how their processes work, and, you know, if they're certified, things like that. Doing my best to educate myself too on their practices. And then also just, bye.
Hi.
I'm at home. And then also just, you know, giving back through the charity aspect. I try to, you know, pick a different charity every month to donate. I try to donate to boxes to nonprofits you know, for their events, to give away. And just supporting the community, you know. I think a lot of times we get distracted in our society, which is why yoga is also good. And we've come into this place where, and I think especially with the political climate coming so close to the election, where we are separate. And I think we forget that at the end of the day, we all are cut from we're all human beings. And it's very essential to support each other as much as you can. And for a lot of the small businesses out there that I put their products in the box, they don't get often the distribution that some of these bigger companies do. You know, to be put on a shelf at Whole Foods is a very competitive thing, or Sprouts even. So to be able to, you know, help my community by helping them get the visibility, because I believe in them, it's you know, that is what yoga, it's supporting your community, understanding you're all one, and understanding when one person is, you know, is right, you know, is lifted, we kind of all are lifted. So supporting, you know, businesses that, you know, and saying like, I believe in you, and, you know, having that trust and that relationship where we help each other out, them by, you know, allowing me to support their business and by them supporting mine. So it's kind of this, again, balance. And so those are a few ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I also try to be as honest with customers as possible as the value on products, because I know a lot of times, sometimes, you know, you hear things like, is this really worth this amount of money? So I try to be as honest with customers as like what the values are of products. Try to listen to their needs and their concerns. If they get upset. A lot of times, when people spend money on subscription boxes or gifts or shopping for themselves, it really may be the only amount that they can spend on themselves every month. So that's a very emotional thing. And if it arrives damaged or not as expected, it can be a really emotional thing, because it's like, wow, I had, $40 to spend on myself and I really needed it this month. And then this comes and, destroyed, or, and sometimes I can't control that. But so trying to be understanding also when things don't go right, and really being, aware and listening to people's concerns as well. So there's a lot.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And it's such a beautiful business model for any size of company. And I think we see that more and more these days, because people are wanting that, and people like you are setting the bar a little higher. So since you came from a retail-ish background, did you have a moment when you were creating this Buddhibox idea where you were like pulling from your past and going, I'm changing things from what I used to do to create this? Or was it actually pretty seamless?
I think I more so drew from inspiration of other brands and companies that I really felt that they did something really well at. So the Tom's model of giving back, that was always an essential for me. It was kind of not negotiable. I knew that even if I could only give back a small amount, it still mattered. So I really respect the Tom's model and what they built in giving back to communities around the world. So that was one of my inspirations, is I have to give back. Even as I'm growing and it's going to be hard, it's important to give back. And then the other model that I really respected is Nordstrom's. I like how they put customers first, no matter what. You walk in, there's a consistency and kindness. And if something is, not right, they'll do their best to fix it. And I feel like that is why they've been so successful and been a company that's been around probably, 30, 40, maybe even more. But I always feel like, I pay a little bit more to go to Nordstrom, but I know the quality and the consistency of their, whether you're calling or walking in the store, that customer service aspect is really strong. So those two were probably two companies that I was really, really inspired by. And then as far as like the creativity aspect, I don't know if you've heard of Buddhibox, but they're a company out of New York that does like pet boxes. And I just think they do such a good job with their marketing. They're just, their blog, their emails. I mean, they're just so fun and light and just adorable. And I just really, it's fun to get their emails because they do have really good content. And so that's another subscription box that I feel really inspired by.
That's, I love the way that you're kind of showing how it's the balance of, you include some yogic principles, but it's not like you're giving your box away for free. You do have the business. And I think that's crucial too, when people are trying to figure out this whole yoga lifestyle. It's like, there are moments where you are very yogic and giving, but then you also can have your boundaries and you can establish something that's very sustaining. And, and like you've said earlier, it's like, there's no real, everybody has to do the same thing. There's some creativity around it. And you just start to tune into what feels right for you, as whether it's a business owner or as a person getting into yoga, but it doesn't have to look just one way.
Yeah, it's constantly learning too. I mean, it's when you enter building a business for the first time, you learn so much. I mean, what can go wrong? Everything. So it's been, for me, a really good experience in learning in non-reaction and just, breathing. Because there's some days where you're just like, what just happened? So it's a good lesson in that, and humility too.
Oh yeah. Would you so you mentioned yoga daily. Do you have a daily routine that you would say, or morning routine, or some sort of practice?
I think it depends on what's going on. I like to try to do yoga daily, but since I started the business, it's not something that I can do daily, especially since I teach also. And my life has gone through a lot of transition since I started the business. I I was married. I'm no longer married. I moved out alone with my 2 giant dogs, trying to manage a business by myself. I met someone new. We like started a life together. So my, you know, my life since 2 years ago has been like this up, down, sideways, you know, whole turnaround thing. So it's changed a lot. So, you know, if you would have asked me 6 months ago, what's your daily routine? It would have been like, I get up, I walk the dogs, we get coffee, we come back, I check emails. Now it's, you know, I run to the beach. I let the dogs out, you know, I have breakfast with my boyfriend. So it changes, but again, it's, you know, that whole yoga lifestyle that teaches you like, just be fluid. You know, things are constantly changing. If you're not changing, you're stagnant, you're not growing. Yeah, I just, you know, and I feel very fortunate that I have a partner that is also like that. You know, he's very much, he's also a creative mind. He's a professional photographer. And so he's always like, yeah, this is life. You take the risk, but would you rather not know what, you know, what could have been? And, you know, it's all a risk. And so he has that philosophy too, even though he doesn't do yoga as, you know, frequently as I do, he definitely has that philosophy of like, this is one life and you got to make your, you know, live it to your fullest and, you know, be unapologetic about the decisions you make and just move forward. And that's been really great to find someone that has that, that philosophy on life as well.
Nice. Yeah. So I feel like, and maybe you could chime in, like with studying yoga and sharing yoga, and you start to realize, I mean, morning or like daily practices are great, but it just starts to become this sort of inherent way of thinking and living. And it takes practice to get to that point. But then all of a sudden it is just this really open, fun life. And you realize that you do, like you said, it's just fluid and life might feel like it's going sideways, but you still have the ability to keep going.
And you surround yourself with people who understand that and support that is really important too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's life. You're going to have really hard, dark moments, no matter how, you know, wonderful things could be going. We're all emotional, you know, beings, you know, we're all energies. And so you have those hard days where you're just like, everybody hates me, you know, why isn't anything going right? You know, what's this happening? I mean, it's just natural that it happens to everyone. And so it's good to surround yourself with other people that have that same philosophy, because they're the ones that are going to pull you through it. Like, no, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's been a bad day, but it's not a bad life. But we all have it. I have it, you know, it's just the way it is. So
yeah,
it's important to, you know, having that baseline helps keep you moving forward and fluid, rather than letting yourself get drug into your perception of what it is.
Yes. Yeah. I love that visualization. So I love knowing the background of Buddhibox. Like now everybody knows the person behind this product. And I love what you mentioned earlier too, and I see this a lot with some of my clients, where it's a lot to buy yourself things, and it's a lot to treat yourself. And some people, it's even more of a thing than others. Do you get feedback from some of your clients that are like, this is the best gift I get all month for myself type of thing?
Yeah, especially when I started, I would get you know, emails almost every month about customers saying, I love what you're doing. You know, I've been recently going through a breakup, or, you know, I'm a single mom. So getting those emails is great, because it's nice to hear people taking care of themselves. It's important. I think we often neglect ourselves. We put ourselves last. And it's not necessarily that we feel we're not deserving in a way that like is like, you're not deserving because you're a bad person. It's just, you're not deserving because we tend to put others first. So if you're a mom, and I'm not a mom, I'm a dog mom, but I'm not a mom, but I have a lot of friends that are, and I can certainly understand to a degree, because in a way Buddhibox is like my child.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you want to put that first. You want to put that being first, you know, and you feel selfish not doing it. Again, it's about striking a balance. You know, if mom isn't happy and nurtured and fulfilled and mentally, you know, sound, it's going to take more out of her to be there for her family. Or, you know, the same with dad. You know, I mean, people need to understand that, you know, it's not selfish, it's self-care, and there's a very big difference. But I'm guilty of it as well. You know, I think we all are. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be certain things. So yeah, I definitely enjoy when I get those emails because it's good to hear. I'm happy to hear that people are getting something value out of it. Because at the end of the day, it is a consumer business, it's products. But I think that it's important to recognize that there's a lot of emotion behind those products. When I use some vendors, most of my vendors actually are either yoga teachers or they give back in some way. And just thinking about like one of the beauty products I've used in the box, there's a line of beauty products called Real Beauty for a Cause. And they only put maybe 3 to 6 ingredients. And they're all things that you understand in every single thing that they sell. And they have a small line, but that's because she wants to stay to keeping it very pure. But not only that, but she employs underprivileged women coming from homeless shelters through a program called Connections Through Success that employ these women so they can rise above the poverty line and provide for their families. So there is emotion behind the products. There is it's not just, this item's worth $30, but it's the intention behind it. When you're buying that product, you're not only supporting small business like me, you're supporting small business that creates the product, and you're supporting women create a better life for themselves and their family. And that's really what I try to work with vendors that have that intention. Not to give anything away, but in the next couple months, I'm working with a local artist who does these beautiful watercolor prints. We're putting in like a greeting card set that you can use for the holidays or for birthdays. And that's her art. That's the way she communicates. That's her passion. That's her giving a little bit of herself through, a consumer product. And that's really important to me. That's why I usually tend to support smaller business owners than going to some of the bigger yoga companies, not to have anything against them, but you really do feel the sentiment and the intention when it's handmade and it's from someone's it's there. It's not a production line. It's their product that they're making in batches. And there is a difference. And so that's what I try to put in every box. It's not just the value of what it costs, but it's the value of how it's made.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. The whole conscious consumerism, and we see it everywhere too now, but I love just the small business aspect, everything you just shared. And so if people are watching and maybe they have a product or they know somebody with a product, how can they reach you? Are you always looking for?
Yeah. They can just go to the website. I think there's a place, where they can, submit requests, or they can just write help@buddhiboxes.com.
Cool.
And we'll eventually get to them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm sure there's when you can hop on Etsy, there's just so many beautiful, artists and jewelry. And, every time I turn around, there's another oily smell or lotion. And it's just amazing what people are out there creating. But it's so cool that you try to include people that are living it.
And I'll get references from friends, or I've worked with companies like LA Yoga Magazine out here in the West Coast, and they're constantly sending me like, oh, we just found this great new product. You should check it out. And so, having those partnerships and is really great too.
So great. And just to make it clear, great for guys and gals, right?
Yeah, there's definitely usually a jewelry piece in every box, but for guys, give it to your best friend or your wife or your sister or mother,
Yeah.
I try to, jewelry has been really successful. People love receiving it. So I try to put a piece in every box now, because it's one of the things like candles. People could get candles in every box and be like super happy. It's one of those things that just makes everyone happy. So, so yeah, they can get it. As long as, and a lot of the bracelets actually are kind of unisex. They're like black,
cool.
malas or simple things.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Just so the guys know, it's not all girls only sort of.
Too. The kind of sample sized box is unisex as well.
Nice. Okay, good. Well, so we could all these interviews are so great. I know we could keep talking. I'd love for you to share what you're giving the audience if they choose to take it.
Yeah. So, we are going to give I think I said 20% discount to all the audience with a special code. I think you have it. So
it'll be on the little link for everybody to click and grab. So will that be on one box, or will that be?
No, we can do it as an ongoing.
Very cool.
20% off subscription for the yoga box or the jewelry box.
Super generous. Thank you. So, and that will all be.
Yeah, and then when you sign up for the box, every month I send a code for 15% off the store if you're a subscriber. So if you're a subscriber, you're not only going to get 20% off the subscription price, but you also get 15% off all store purchases.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, thank you. And I want to ask you that one big question I've been asking everybody to kind of seal the deal here. So if people have just been halfway listening, or you want to leave them with like one big takeaway, what's your big piece of advice or kind of a summary of your mission on this planet?
My mission on this planet, I think I'm still trying to figure that one out.
That's right.
I think it changes through the stages of my life. I think, it's just, be your best self, and if you don't know what that is, take a little bit of time to spend on your mat or meditating, walking, and just figure out what makes you happy, honor your true self, whatever that is. And don't apologize for what it is. Whatever makes you happy, do that.
Yeah.
Just do yourself. That's the most important thing.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, I think that is time. Thank you so much, Maxine. And yes, and everybody click the link, grab your discount, and at least just check out Buddhiboxes. The website's great. You can see so many products and read so much more. You can read about Maxine. I love learning more about behind the scenes of your business. A great business model for anyone with any sort of entrepreneurship going on. And yeah, until next time.
Thank you. Namaste.
See you later. Namaste. Bye, Maxine.